Israeli officials say the Red Cross has received 2 more bodies of deceased hostages as funerals begin for those already returned. Israel has revealed one of the bodies returned in recent days doesn't match any of the hostages and maintains there'll be no compromises when it comes to the return of those still in Gaza.
And there are also reports that some Palestinians are stockpiling food amid fears that the ceasefire may not hold or that a key border crossing won't reopen. Our Middle East correspondent Matthew Doran is in Jerusalem for us this morning and he joins us again this hour. Matt, g'day. What is the latest on the process of handing over the remains of more hostages?
James, good morning. 2 more coffins are on their way back to Israel after being handed over by Hamas to the International Red Cross. This follows a number of other handovers over the last couple of days or so in groups of around 4 bodies at a time as Hamas tries to uphold its end of the deal here with this ceasefire and hostage exchange process. That deal was that all of the living 20 hostages would be freed. That is something we saw on Monday local time, and that the bodies of all 28 deceased hostages would also be handed over. We've learnt this evening from Hamas that it says it has upheld its side of this bargain, that it has handed over all of the remains that it can get access to, but it is saying that the remaining bodies that it has not handed over so far, it needs help to retrieve them from the rubble of Gaza. That is something that Israel has somewhat acknowledged, but has also accused Hamas of breaching this ceasefire and said that it will not ease up on any of the pressure it places on the militant group while those bodies are still inside Gaza. This is an ongoing process. Is it, of course, fueling a lot of grief for those families who had expected their loved ones' remains to be brought back but are still waiting for that. The process of laying to rest those who have returned to Israel has also begun. There were 2 funerals in Israel today, one here in Jerusalem, one in Ra'anana, which is north of Tel Aviv, and that's where the body of 26-year-old Guy Eluz was laid to rest at a cemetery there. He's a sound technician who was working at the Nova Music Festival when he was abducted by Hamas on October 7, 2023. That festival was the scene of one of the deadliest massacres on that day. His family were clearly very emotional, very upset about this moment. His father giving a very deep and very touching eulogy, talking about how he saw his son's body in the morgue just before it was taken to the cemetery for that hospital, and he kissed him on the forehead despite the condition his son had been returned in. We spoke to a family friend outside the cemetery who said that it was a day of mixed emotions, considering that the family had known for the better part of 2 years that their son had been killed.
It's very difficult. On one hand, it's a closure of a circle, which is both his parents needed to know that they've done anything to bring him back, even for a grave.
And that's one of the family members, or family friends, I should say, of the Eluz family speaking there. We are also hearing further details from the families of those living hostages about their condition in hospital and the treatment that they have endured over the last 2 years in captivity. They are saying that they were kept in solitary confinement, they were beaten, they were starved, and there has been anger directed towards the Netanyahu government for allowing this situation to continue for 2 years, not bringing about a deal to bring them home any earlier than that. Also, one of the brother-in-law of one hostage, Omri Milan, spoke to the ABC 7:30 program last night, and he said that the Milan's family's sole objective right now is to support Omri as he tries to return to some sort of normality.
He was deprived of the right to choose for 2 years, alongside being starved, deprived of water, sanitary condition, sunlight, basic human rights, tortured in front of others and alone by his tormentors, his captors. But now he's free to choose whatever he wants.
Yes, Moshe joined News Breakfast earlier in the week, and it's taken a huge toll on that family for sure. And Matt, just briefly, what are we learning from the Palestinians who were released from Israeli jails?
Well, James, there were 250 who were released from jail serving life sentences, but there was another cohort of 1,700 Palestinians, around 1,700 Palestinians, who had been arrested and detained during the course of the war in Gaza and were bussed back into the war-ravaged strip. Among them were 2 women, and the ABC has tracked down one of them. Mirvat Sahan has explained in harrowing detail what happened to her in the last couple of months. She was detained, arrested back in May The Israeli forces stormed her home, shot dead her husband, the father of her children, in front of her children, and had accused the pair of harbouring hostages, of looking after them at the behest of Hamas, something which she had roundly rejected, saying those allegations were false. She has accused Israeli authorities of shocking mistreatment while behind bars.
It was beatings, hanging, electric shocks. I did not understand why they took me. I am a peaceful woman. There was nothing against me.
Mirvat Sahan speaking to the ABC earlier. Now, the Israeli Prison Service says it is not aware of these claims. It's not aware of anything like that happening under its responsibility. The Israeli military says it holds all suspects under lawful conditions and that it will investigate any concrete allegations. It's safe to say that Mirvat Sahan's experience, her story, is not isolated. There are many more Palestinian prisoners, part of that group, returned to Gaza, who are alleging shocking mistreatment at the hands of Israeli authorities.